most men when they approach a beautiful woman.
Okay, let's be honest. For most men, women feel like quantum physics with boobs, incomprehensible and terrifying. If that's you staring back in the mirror, buckle up. Today we're talking about getting laid. I'm Amberpali, and this is the Ink Truths podcast. Welcome on board. This series isn't some gentle self-help hug. This is the verbal equivalent of a cold shower and a flap.
This is practical, brutal, field-tested advice that actually moves the needle from perma-single to, sorry, my bed's booked. This is a no-bullshit guide about the deep changes you need to make to yourself and your lifestyle to turn yourself into an attractive man. We're keeping it hetero-dude focused here. If you're hunting different flavors, this cookbook ain't for you. Welcome to part 1 of a 3-part series on how to actually get laid. Today, we're going to cut through every comfortable lie you've been telling yourself about why you're not getting results. We're going to break down the 6 legitimate ways people actually get laid, not the fantasy versions from movies, but the real methods that work in the field. We're going to expose why 5 of those 6 methods either suck harder than a vacuum salesman or are completely unavailable to you. And we're going to explain why cold approach, the method everyone's scared of, is actually your best shot at turning I suck into I pull in a time frame that doesn't require you to first become famous or rich. This isn't theory. This is what it really takes. The techniques alone won't save you. They're just tools. You need the mindset, the lifestyle upgrades, and the inner framework first. That's coming in parts 2 and 3. But right now, we need to answer one fundamental question. How do people actually get laid? Let's find out.
So you want to get laid? Great. Let's think about this practically. There aren't 50 ninja techniques or some secret ancient wisdom passed down from Tibetan sex monks. There are basically 6 roads. 6 legitimate paths to getting from where you are now to consistently sleeping with women you're actually attracted to. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of them suck. Most of them are either completely unavailable to you, require years of groundwork, or are fundamentally inefficient for what you're trying to accomplish. So let's go through all 6. We'll talk about the pros and cons of each. And by the end, you'll understand why I'm betting everything on one specific approach, and why you should too. Path 1, cold approach. Cold approach is basically walking up to a stranger, a woman who has never met you before, striking up a flirtatious conversation, and getting her number, a date, or pulling her same night. You can do this during the day in malls, streets, cafes, bookstores, anywhere women exist. You can do this at night in bars, clubs, lounges, house parties, basically wherever estrogen roams free. This is the approach I'm riding hardest in this series, and there are specific reasons why. First, it's the most direct way to understand the mechanics of attraction. You're not hiding behind a screen. You're not relying on a pre-existing social network. You're going face-to-face with the raw, unfiltered dynamics of male-female interaction. Second, it's portable. It works all around the world, regardless of language or culture, provided you're in a large city with actual population density. If you're in bumfuck nowhere, population 47, you're screwed. But in any major city, you have infinite volume, and volume is your forgiving god. If you bomb one approach, who cares? Another woman is around the corner in 5 minutes. You can start as a walking disaster, as I did, and still rack up reps because failure doesn't end the game. It just respawns you. The flexibility is unmatched. If you move cities tomorrow, you're gaming fresh opportunities the next night. If you travel the globe, you use the same skills in Tokyo, London, New York, Sao Paulo. Different accents, endless stories, same fundamental dynamics. Third, and this is critical, the volume allows you to suck and still improve. You don't need to be good to start. You just need to be willing to approach. The feedback loop is immediate. You approach, you get a reaction, you calibrate, you approach again. 10 approaches in one night teaches you more than 10 months of theorizing on Reddit. Fourth, once you get decent, the results are absurd. I know guys who've hit triple-digit lay counts from cold approach. Guys who pull every other weekend like it's DoorDash for sex. This isn't some mystical talent. It's a learnable skill set. Now, the downsides. It takes balls. Or at least the willingness to fake them until they grow. It's humiliating at first. Think awkward silences so thick you could spread them on toast. Rejections that make you question your entire existence. Nights where you go home empty-handed and wonder if you're fundamentally broken. It requires living in or near a large city. Small towns don't have the volume. You need population density to make this work. And it requires consistent effort. You can't do it once and expect mastery. It's like going to the gym. You need reps. But here's the thing. It's the most hardcore, skill-building, results-producing method available to regular guys. Not celebrities, not millionaires. Regular guys who are willing to eat public embarrassment for a few months so they can feast like legends later. That's path 1. Path 2. Social circle. Social circle is how most normies stumble into bed. Through friends, parties, group hangs. Oh, you're single too? Vibes at barbecues. The upside? It's lower pressure. Rejection stings less when everyone's already drunk and knows your name. There's built-in social proof. You're vetted by the group. Women feel safer because you're not some random stranger. The downside? The maintenance is extreme. To run a successful social circle game, you have to be Mr. Extrovert. You're constantly texting everyone, planning brunches, after parties, boat days, wine nights. You're the social glue holding it all together. Social circle is very indirect. You're not gaming the hot girl at the party directly. You're building relationships with everyone, becoming the fun social guy, and then maybe, eventually, something happens with someone in the network. It's also extremely geographic. If you move cities, your whole network evaporates like morning wood. To have true abundance and high standards, you need a massive circle of hundreds of people, and building that takes years. Maintaining it takes constant work. If you neglect it for 6 months, it's gone. You also can't turn it on and off. With cold approach, you can go hard for a few months, get a girlfriend, take a break, come back when you're single. Your skills might be rusty, but the infrastructure still exists. There are still women in bars. With social circle, if you stop maintaining it, the whole thing collapses. Your friends drift, they get married, they move, they start new social circles that don't include you. And then you're back to square one, rebuilding from scratch. So, social circle works. A lot of people get laid this way. But it's high maintenance, geographically limited, and requires an extroverted personality that not everyone has. Path 3. Work. Work bangs happen. In fact, a lot of people get laid through their jobs. If you're a bartender, club promoter, bouncer, DJ, conference speaker, or you work in an industry with high female ratios and lots of social mixing, you might swim in it. But for most people, it's a cubicle sausage fest or remote Zoom purgatory. Most companies are male-dominated and don't have attractive women anyway. And even if they do, HR lurks like a jealous ex, ready to nuke your career over one awkward advance. The risk is too high. The pool is too limited. You're not going to change your entire career just to get laid. Don't bet your rent on coworker tail. Path 4. Status and celebrity. This is the undisputed cheat code. Rock stars, influencers, professional athletes, famous actors. These are some of the most laid people on the planet. Women literally throw themselves at them like confetti. It's the most efficient use of time because you're combining your life purpose, being a great artist, musician, DJ, actor, entrepreneur, with your dating strategy. Minimal effort, maximum results. You're just being excellent at your craft, and women show up as a side effect. The problem? It's God mode for 0.0001% of dudes. Unless your LinkedIn already says famous, you're not qualifying. Most people will never have the level of status necessary to make this their primary strategy. And even if you're working toward it, building a YouTube channel, a music career, a business, that's a 10-year project minimum. You'll be 35 before it starts paying sexual dividends. So yes, if you can pull it off, do it. But it's not a practical solution for the guy who wants results in the next year. Path 5. Online game. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, OkCupid, Match.com. Here's the brutal truth. There is no game. Online dating boils down to 95% photos and looks. Your bio, your clever openers, your witty banter, participation trophies at best. The apps are basically pyramid schemes for lazy guys. They're designed to siphon money from the bottom 80% of guys who get zero quality matches, while the top 20% of handsome guys feast and everyone else starves. The data is clear. OkCupid's internal research showed that women rate 80% of men as below average in attractiveness. Tinder's data, when it leaks, shows the same brutal pattern. The top 20% of men get 80% of the matches. The bottom 80%? Crickets. Ghost town. Invisible men scrolling into the void. If you're not in the top 20% of physical appearance, handsome face, good height, fit body, professional photos, you're farming salt in the desert while Chad gets flooded with options. And even if you do get matches, they're low quality. Women on apps are overwhelmed by options, jaded, transactional. They're swiping while they're bored on the toilet. You're competing with 50 other guys for a conversation that goes nowhere. The apps are designed to keep you swiping forever, not to help you find love, to monetize your loneliness through boosts, super likes, premium subscriptions. Skip this unless your jawline could cut glass. Path 6. The money route. Escorts, sugar babies, gold diggers. You can pay for sex. You can rent intimacy. The upside? Guaranteed results. No rejection, no skill required. Just cash. The downside? Zero genuine desire. You're not being chosen. You're being tolerated in exchange for resources. It's emotional fast food. It tastes okay in the moment, but leaves you hollow. What you actually want, what every man wants deep down, is a woman who's genuinely attracted to you, who wants you for you, not your wallet, who lights up when you walk in the room because she's excited to see you, not because you're paying her rent. Prostitution will never give you that. Forget this strategy entirely. The bottom line. So those are your 6 options. And if you look at them honestly, only 2 are actually viable for regular guys who want real, repeatable, she likes me for me results. Social Circle and Cold Approach. Social Circle requires years of investment, constant maintenance, geographic stability, and an extroverted personality. Cold Approach requires balls, city living, consistent effort, and the willingness to suck in public for a few months. Both work, but only one is portable, scalable, skill-building, and teachable in a way that produces results quickly. That's why we're focusing on Cold Approach. It's hardcore mode, and that's exactly why it works stupidly well.
Here's the thing. I could teach you openers, routines, escalation tactics, text game, all the technical stuff. But it won't help. Not yet. Because techniques only work when you have the right foundation, and most guys don't. If you're insecure, needy, afraid of rejection, stuck in your head, overthinking everything, techniques won't fix that. You'll just be an insecure guy saying memorized lines. If you don't have basic social skills, decent grooming, acceptable fashion, interesting hobbies, or a life outside of chasing women, techniques won't fix that either. The techniques are the top 10% of the equation. The other 90% is mindset, lifestyle, inner game, and fundamentals. That's what we're covering in parts 2 and 3. Part 2 is about inner game, the mental and emotional shifts you need to make to become the kind of man women want to sleep with. Confidence, outcome independence, abundance mentality, handling rejection, killing neediness. Part 3 is about lifestyle and fundamentals, the external changes you need to make: fashion, fitness, grooming, social skills, hobbies, living situation, career. Only after you've handled those 2 parts does technique matter. Because here's the secret. When you have strong inner game and solid fundamentals, you barely need techniques. You just show up as an attractive man, have genuine conversations, escalate naturally, and things happen. Techniques are training wheels. They help when you're learning, but eventually, you take them off and just ride. So don't skip ahead. Don't try to memorize openers and routines before you fix your deeper issues. Build the foundation first, then we'll add the techniques. So here's the decision point. Are you ready? Are you ready to eat public embarrassment for a few months so you can feast like a legend later? Are you ready to face your fear of rejection and push through it? Are you ready to move to a city if you're not already in one? Are you ready to put in the reps, approach women consistently, and learn from every interaction? Or are you still praying for the magic pill that lets you stay on the couch forever? Because there is no magic pill. There's only the work. And the work is hard at first, but it gets easier. And eventually, it becomes natural. And then you look back and realize you're a completely different person than you were when you started. That's the journey, and it starts with a decision. So decide. Thanks for listening to part 1. In part 2, we're diving into inner game, the mental and emotional shifts that transform you into an attractive man. And in part 3, we're covering lifestyle and fundamentals, the external changes that complete the package. This is a 3-part system. You need all 3 parts. Don't skip ahead. And if you're serious about this, go approach one woman this week. Just one. It doesn't matter if you crash and burn. Just prove to yourself that you can do it. That's your homework. Now get out there.